Qala Allahayna Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Wamalakia by Hashem Harawat, Wakakorash, Barakatham, the Water Bible Bar, Wakwam Yasharala. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach us daily. And to the men out there teaching a likewise doctrine, I say you shalom. Today we're gonna get into a video whereas this guy's really going in on the United States history as being the true world terrorist and the world's biggest criminal organization, the United States. And he's going in depth, and he couldn't. And it's all reality. So all you MAGA people out there who don't want to deal with reality, this ain't the video for you. Not that I do make videos for y'all anyway, because I don't make videos for the stuck on stupid. So you might catch feelings in this one because it's talking about your great American country that you stole. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the video. But before that, I want to get the copyright disclaimers. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right, let's grab the video. And the name of this video is This is the World's Biggest Criminal. Now he's gonna start out, I went into it like a minute and some change. And he's starting to talk about the book called Rogue State, which the United States always been a rogue state. They always been doing whatever they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Now let's see if we can find a definition. Rogue state definition. A nation or state regarded as breaking international law and posing a threat to the security of other nations. See, all Esau does is project because he was busy accusing other nations of doing what the United States and Israel are actually doing. These are rogue states. This is why the Lord is going to put the spirit on these other nations to destroy Israel and America, because they are rogue states ran by Edomites who hated instruction. They think they got the right to just do whatever they want to do, and people just supposed to take it. Let's let my man talk. And I'm going to let this run about 7-8 minutes. The video is about 30 minutes long. I ain't going to let it run that long. Y'all can go back and finish watching it if you want to. But we just going to hit some key points. And the meat of the video is between 2 and 9 minutes. You know, so let's go ahead and let it play.
This is why the renowned historian and journalist William Bloom published a book titled Rogue State about the USA. It was subtitled A Guide to the World's Only Superpower. He originally published it in 2000, and he updated it with a few different editions in the 2000s. And William Bloom used US government documents to make a list of all of the countries around the world where the US military and the CIA had intervened. And he showed how the US truly is the world's worst rogue state. Now, William Bloom unfortunately passed away, so I have tried to continue some of the work that he started by using US government documents to show all of the countries around the world where the US has launched military interventions. And according to US government data, the US has intervened in the vast majority of all of the countries on Earth. Again, no other country comes even remotely close. And this non-stop interventionism has been bipartisan. It doesn't matter if the US president is a Republican or a Democrat. It has been completely bipartisan over decades. And Donald Trump has taken the extremely aggressive foreign policy of the United States to a whole new level. Trump is proud of the fact that the United States is an empire. He has repeatedly promised to physically expand the territory of the U.S. empire, and he has flagrantly threatened international institutions.
We may be a very substantially enlarged country in the not too distant. Isn't it nice to see, for years?
You see the idiots in the background not even knowing what this man about to do to them. This is when he was threatening to take Greenland, Denmark, Canada. Yeah, just telling these people, hey, we want y'all land. And they just supposed to say, oh, okay. No.
For decades where the same size to the square foot probably got smaller, actually. But we might be an enlarged country pretty soon.
And in December, Donald Trump demonstrated one of the U.S. government's most blatant attacks on international law that I have ever seen. It is honestly jaw-dropping. The Trump administration is threatening the ICC, the International Criminal Court, to rewrite its statute to make an exemption for the U.S. so U.S. officials can never be prosecuted for any of the crimes they committed.
There it is. So they're going to sanction the ICC for investigating them. See how these people hated for instruction? Esau hated instruction. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. Now let's go to Habakkuk, chapter 2. Verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as deaf, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Verse 9, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. But it says, woe means destruction. So that's giving you a glimpse inside Esau's spirit, just greedy for no reason. Covetous. Let's get it in Sirach. Chapter 10, verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such as one set of his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he cast away his bowels. Nothing is sacred to the Edomites. Everything is for sale and everything can be bought. That's why you got your so-called enemy, China, owning a lot of farmland in your own country. Why would you sell land to your enemy inside your country? Because everything for sale with Esau.
I'm reading here from a report in Reuters, quote, President Donald Trump's administration wants the International Criminal Court to amend its founding document to ensure it does not investigate the Republican president and his top officials. A Trump administration official said, threatening new U.S. sanctions on the court if it did not. If the court does not act on this demand and two others, dropping investigations of Israeli leaders over the Gaza war and formally ending an earlier probe of U.S. troops over their actions in Afghanistan, Washington may penalize more ICC officials and could sanction the court itself, the official said, end quote. So in other words, the U.S. government believes that it is above the law, that the U.S. should have an exemption in international law that no other country has, and that U.S. officials should never be prosecuted by The Hague. And what's even crazier about all of this is the United States is not even a member of the International Criminal Court. The U.S. is not a party to the Rome Statute that established the ICC in 2002. And yet the U.S. wants an exemption because the U.S. government constantly commits crimes in other countries, so other countries could try to use the ICC to prosecute U.S. government officials for the crimes that they have committed against people in other countries. Just like Israel, one of the closest U.S. allies, is likewise not a member of the ICC. But Palestine is recognized as a member of the ICC, which is why Israeli officials like Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have ongoing arrest warrants against them for the crimes against humanity they committed against the Palestinian people. And the U.S. government is deathly afraid that U.S. officials could also be charged for the crimes they have committed all around the world. This is what a U.S. government official told Reuters, quote, "There is growing concern that in 2029, the ICC will turn its attention to the president, to the vice president, to the secretary of war and others, and pursue prosecutions against them. That is unacceptable, and we will not allow that to happen." And
See how Esau don't want to be judged? He don't want to be punished. These people are unfit to rule. Let me get this one. This is Psalms chapter 50, verse 16. But unto the wicked Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee? And that's just an example of how Esau hates instructions. He does not like following rules, but yet he parades around with the Bible in his hand like a movie prop and not doing anything it says. Matter of fact, this dude goes above and beyond the call of wickedness and makes it a point to do everything opposite of the Bible. Prime example. We're not supposed to eat pork, yet they lace everything with pork. Even your cement, Kool-Aid. Right? Another example is about how we're supposed to keep the crowns of our heads open. It's not supposed to be covered. Esau, aka the chosen victims, they choose to cover the crown of their head only. See what I'm saying? Another example. I said homosexuals supposed to be put to death. What do? They hold the world's largest gay parade. Pink City, Tel Aviv, yeah. Hate of instruction, that's why they're going to be destroyed.
quote. So the U.S. government is threatening members of the ICC to change the Rome Statute, which would need the approval of 2/3 of the members of the ICC. Now, I should note some larger context here because it's important to emphasize that this is not at all the first time that a U.S. president has attacked the International Criminal Court. The ICC was originally founded back in 2002, and before it was founded, U.S. President Bill Clinton signed the founding treaty, and originally the U.S. was supposed to be a member of the ICC. But then George W. Bush came to power, and in 2002, his administration unsigned the founding treaty and declared that it would not be a member of the ICC. And at that time, groups like Human Rights Watch claimed that supposedly this decision would further estrange Washington from its closest allies. Of course, that's not what happened. We know that, Human Rights Watch has been very biased in the interests of the U.S. government, and they claim that the U.S. government would see the light and they would come back and support international law, which is obviously absurd. The U.S. government.
No, when they dropped out of the ICC, that should have been a red flag that they finna do some wickedness.
Government has never done that. In fact, just a few months later, the U.S. government escalated its attacks on the International Criminal Court, and the Bush administration passed a law known as the Hague Invasion Act. The official name is the American Service Members Protection Act, which threatened that the U.S. military will invade The Hague, the city in the Netherlands, which is where the ICC is located. The U.S. military would invade this European ally in order to physically take out any U.S. officials or government officials from U.S. allies who are being prosecuted by the ICC for the crimes they committed. Again,
see that? And this is a never-ending pattern with Esau. Whenever he feels the threat of being punished or judged for his crimes, what did he do? Threaten violence. That's all he does, because he doesn't want to be punished, but he wants to persist on doing wickedness and not be punished. Now, another thing that Esau does, this man will write himself permission to murder somebody. He will pull out a pad and pencil and give himself permission to murder. He'll pull out a pad and pencil and give himself permission to take your shit. That's all these clauses and amendments and acts, protection acts and all this shit. They're giving themselves permission to do wickedness. Now, how the hell are you just gonna invade a so-called allied country and just do what you want to do, all because you're upset that you're about to be investigated? That's a child.
this is the behavior of a crazy rogue state, and this is 2002. This is well before Donald Trump became president. This all did not start with Trump. I must emphasize that. And of course, one of the main reasons that the Bush administration unsigned the ICC's founding treaty and passed the Hague Invasion Act is because the Bush administration was afraid that it could potentially face legal consequences over the illegal war of aggression that it carried out in 2003 in Iraq. The US government invaded Iraq, and the UN chief at the time, Secretary General Kofi Annan, said that this was blatantly illegal and violated the UN Charter. So the
See, that's when they lied on what's his name? Saddam Hussein, I think. And say he had weapons of mass destruction, but all that was a lie and an excuse to invade and take whatever they wanted. Now, let me see where we at. Oh, it's at 8 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and end this. But like I said, y'all can go ahead and come back and finish watching this. It's a good video, but just for the sake of time, we're gonna cut it short and bring out some scriptures and Yahweh desire it would be edifying. So let's come out of this. Yeah, that's the history of America the Great. Now let's go to Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth was given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not where and who is he? The earth was given to the hand of the wicked. United States and the chosen victims over there. Meaning power was given to them. Let's go to Psalms, chapter 94. Verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? They gather themselves together against the souls of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. Exactly. That's all they ever do. They're right. Give themselves permission to take your shit. Give themselves permission to do whatever they want to do. And you're just supposed to agree to it just because they wrote this shit out on a piece of paper and signed it. It's still unrighteous. And it's still wicked. They think that excuses them from judgment. No, it does not. It only proves that you are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy also, see that piece of paper he signed? And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. These idiots gonna try to fight the Lord. And they're gonna lose miserably. It's gonna be an embarrassing defeat. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they prescribe, them unfair laws, them acts. We don't want you investigating our wickedness, or we gonna invade you. That's wicked in itself. Let's go to Second Ezra. And the truth is, ain't shit great about this country. The only thing that's good about this country was the contributions that the Israelites provided. But then again, it is written that the Israelites will be a blessing into the nations. All our inventions, all our contributions, our music, everything that we have contributed, everything that we have created. That's the only thing great about America. Because if it wasn't for Israelites, America would be boring as hell. No seasoning on nothing. Just a bland ass country full of bland ass, hateful ass people. Second Ezra chapter 11, verse 39. Are not thou it that remainest of the four beasts whom I have made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them? Exactly. These Edomites going to destroy themselves. They already destroying themselves. They destroying the kingdom they stole. Verse 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, threats, military action, strikes, straight up murder. That's what these people do. Great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. For so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. That's shenanigans. Now let's go to Ezekiel. Chapter 22, verse 29. The people of the land have used oppression and have exercised robbery and have vexed the poor and needy. Yeah, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully. That's all they do. Oh, yeah, let's go to the book of Micah, chapter 2. Verse 1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. A man's land is his heritage. Esau don't give a damn. That's why the Lord ain't gonna give a damn when he judge you. Verse 3, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for the time is evil. And the Lord is gonna bring that evil. He's bringing that evil now. It's just a small dose, but that little small dose got these Edomites crashing out, crying in their cars. Y'all ain't built for captivity. That's all right, though. We're going to whip you and shake you. How rotters are. We'll be of that number. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 34. This is another wicked tactic that Esau uses. I think it's verse 21. Yep. Book of Sirach, chapter 34, verse 21. The bread of the needy is their life. He that defraudeth him thereof is a man of blood. He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder. This man weaponized food, So I'm talking about he gonna withhold SNAP benefits from blue states just because he in his fields. See, unfit to rule, too emotional to rule. You're too fragile to rule. You're too frail to rule. That's why they got this term called white fragility. Everything knocks you off your square, regardless of how minute and petty it is. You're too unstable, bro. James 1:8, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 16. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child and thy princes eat in the morning. Trump is the biggest toddler in chief I've ever seen because he's petty and vindictive, like a little middle school girl. And that's dangerous. Now you got Trump. He announced that they're trying to build 2 new battleships. Number one, that's not going to happen because you don't have the time. World War III is here. You should have started on that 10 years ago. You don't have time to build 2 battleships. And number two, that right there, that statement is basically an admission that Trump is a worthless leader because of the fact that this man uses fear. He bluffed too much, and then if he don't get the reaction that he wants, he'll withdraw his threat. Look at what he did with the tariffs. That's how he got the nickname Taco. Trump always chickens out. He tried to intimidate you, then when you don't fall for it, he gonna redact it. That was a stupid ass statement to make to the world, all these enemies you making, because guess what? These nations gonna put 2 and 2 together. They know that it's only certain ports that you could build battleships in. And all they got to do is sabotage or whatever they want to do to make sure that those battleships don't happen. But see, if you was a smart leader, you wouldn't have told nobody that shit. Kept it under wraps. Now your enemy know what you up to. That's the dumbest thing you could do. Announce your next move to your enemies. Unfit to rule. And I'm just talking from a military perspective. All they got to do is hit those ports, sabotage and whatever. It don't take much. Send the same people in that blew up 9/11. And you ain't getting no battleships. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 5. And they will deceive everyone his neighbor and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies and weary themselves to commit iniquity. Just above and beyond with the wickedness, unnecessarily. But then the scriptures did say that the wicked shall do wickedly and the wicked shall not understand, roughly paraphrasing, because it's in their spirit to do wickedness. This is what they were created to do. Doing wickedness to these people is like breathing to us. It comes naturally. Get this one. Psalms chapter 12, verse 8. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. So you got the vilest man in the middle, toddler in chief. Surrounding that vile man, you got the wicked that walk on every side. That's his administration. So that in itself should let you know what kind of kingdom you in. Acts chapter 13, verse 10, and said, full of all subtlety and all mischief, thou child of the devil, thy enemy of all righteousness, wilt thou not would thou not cease to pervert the right ways of the Lord? And the answer is no. He ain't gonna stop till he go into captivity, because this is what he was created to do. Go to Isaiah. Chapter 28. Verse 15. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. See, that's that pride talking. But we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. I mean, just lie about everything there is to lie about, and then some. Now let's go to chapter 29, verse 15. Woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? They still think ain't nobody on to them. This is how stupid they are. Once again, unfit to rule. Revelation chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Y'all saw that world map. How they just constantly interfere, always in other countries' business. That's what's gonna make these countries blow this bitch off the map. Everybody's tired of the United States, especially now. And that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Yeah. That military. Psalm chapter 37, verse 32. The wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. Let's go to the Apocryphal. Sirach. Chapter 13, verse 5. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yeah, he will make thee bear and not be sorry for it. Just a born thief. Chapter 12, verse 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. Chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rust source his wickedness. Verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Bottom line, don't trust Esau, Edom. Chapter 12, verse 3. There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms. Chapter 14, verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom shall he be good? He shall not take pleasure in all his goods. Verse 7. And if he doeth good, he will do it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Verse 8. The envious man have a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despises men. That's why it's this man's natural, I would say his natural will to make all these other nations enemies, because that's the nature of Esau. He turned away his face and despised of men. Verse 9, a covetous man's eyes not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. Exactly. That's why it says in Habakkuk chapter 5, he cannot be satisfied. That in itself disqualifies him from being fit to rule. Just greedy for no goddamn reason. Don't want you to have shit for no goddamn reason. Because he knows that he's the base man and he needs material things to add value to himself, to make himself feel valued. He needs material shit. We don't need it because we know who we are. We don't need material things to fill the void of of base man emptiness. Let's get this one. This is the book of James, chapter 5, verse 6. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it, until ye receive the early and latter rain. Lord said, don't trip, because this man finna get put in his place. Get this one. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20. And this man is guilty of this, so many counts of this. Not only the Israelites, but other nations as well. Native American Indians, tribe of Gad, and everybody else's man has signed a treaty or agreement with. He has broken it. Psalm chapter 55, verse 20, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He has broken his covenant. A covenant is an agreement, a treaty. That's why it says in Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, and never trust thine enemy, because he's going to always lie. He's going to always break promises. But I don't need to tell y'all that. Trump showing y'all in your face that he don't give a damn about lying to you or breaking promises. Let's go to Proverbs. Chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Verse 12. Oh, we start at 11. 10. The bloodthirsty hate the upright, see? But the just seek his soul. Bloodthirsty Edomites. Verse 11, a fool uttereth all his mind. Remember when I was telling you about how stupid it was to announce to the world that you about to build 2 battleships? Knowing you starting wars with every country that you can? A fool uttereth all his mind. All those tweets and all that shit he be texting on Truth Social. This man can't hold water. If you want the world to know something, all you got to do is tell Donald Trump. And it's going to get handled. He going to put it out there. That's what makes him unfit to rule. This man cannot hold government or national secrets. He just blurred the shit out to the whole rest of the world. Whatever come up, come out. That's why it says in Proverbs chapter 29, verse 11, a fool uttereth all his mind. This man be texting and chatting more than a high school girl. Can't hold water. So like I said, if you don't want the world to know, don't tell Trump shit, because he can't hold water. Let me get it again. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards. Exactly. You think Putin would announce some shit like that? No. Putin wiser than Trump. I'll tell you that. Even though both of them Edomites. Get this one. Isaiah chapter 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest. Spoil mean to rob. And thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. Them arrows, them nukes, they coming. We can get a couple more and close. So this is what the Lord has in store for Edom. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. Everything that this country has done, you current Edomites have to pay for it. Sorry, not sorry. We can end with, you know where we going. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. They shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. Verse 21, the Savior shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. Let's go up to 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. What is that reward? Nuclear destruction. So, yep. Get ready, Esau, the whole nation of Edom, because guess what? All of Israel wasn't wicked, but we got punished as a nation. All of Edomites are not wicked, but you still gonna get punished as a nation. And I don't have a problem with it at all. If you got a problem with it, you better watch your walk, because the Lord might put you to death for being an enemy of the throne. And don't trip, Esau. You ain't gonna get eradicated just yet. You got 1,000 years of captivity and slavery before you get deported from the planet, because you have to rebuild our kingdom for free after you destroy yours through World War III like a dumbass you are. Call Halayim Lahai now Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach, Wa Malaki, by Hashem, Harawat, Wakakorash, Barakatham, the Wara Baba Bawa, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.